Thank you for joining us today for the webinar titled How to Go Virtual with CadmiumCD Products. My name's Peter Wyatt. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at CadmiumCD. I wish I could be doing this webinar under better circumstances. Obviously, we're all having a very difficult month, and from the bottom of my heart, and certainly from everyone here at Cadmium, our thoughts are with you guys in the events industry as you work through reconfiguring your events, figuring out where the dollars go now that you're not doing a live event. This webinar is intended to provide you some information about how you can use CadmiumCD products in order to do virtual content online, as well as leverage products that you may already be using with Cadmium in ways that maybe you haven't thought about doing to make the best of a bad situation this spring. So the agenda today is I'm going to give a quick introduction to who CadmiumCD is and what we do. We have a very large attendance at today's webinar. We had, frankly, about 7 or 8 times the number of people sign up as a typical monthly webinar that we do. So a lot of you are actually new to CadmiumCD, and I'll provide a brief introduction to our product line over a couple of minutes just so you can understand the scope of what we do and how we may be able to help you. Then we're going to talk about new things that we have created this spring to help with the calamity that we're all in. These are things that we have been working on for some time and we're planning to introduce at CADCon this summer. But obviously, owing to the unusual events, we've moved them up and done a lot of work to get these available to you now. So we're going to talk about EventScribe Live. This is our live streaming product that we demonstrated briefly at CADCon last year and have since launched. Then we're going to talk about new capabilities for collecting and distributing audio to accompany your slides online. This is where we're going to talk about a new Harvester task that allows your speakers to contribute the audio for their slides directly through the Harvester and make them automatically available in EventScribe. And then we're going to talk about another similar task for posters that allows your poster presenters to contribute audio through the Harvester and not just uploading an audio file, but actually hitting a record button in the task, recording their audio and making it live in EventScribe. Then we're going to touch on some of the Cadmium products that you can think about retooling to cater to virtual events this spring. And finally, we're going to get into how you can get started with your virtual event. What do you do after this webinar? And much of what we're sharing today is at no extra cost to you. And we'll be sharing some of the information about that at the end of this webinar. So first, a little bit about CadmiumCD. We were founded 20 years ago by myself and my wife, Michelle. Back then, it was just a company in our basement, but it's grown a lot since then. And 20 years later, we have over 75 people on our team. We're located just outside Baltimore in Maryland, and we have 12 products that cater to the event industry. Well, we like to think of ourselves as a completely vertically integrated event tech platform that goes all the way a year out from your conference, where you're booking the exhibitors and soliciting abstracts for your submissions, all the way through to data collection leading up to your conference and attendees planning their trip, and then through to the event itself when attendees are consuming content, and after the event when you have evaluations and content collected during your event, like slides and audio that's shared with attendees or members afterwards. So our products are basically what you see on the screen here. The yellow items are products which you would use as much as 6 to 12 months out from your event. The call for abstracts to collect abstracts for papers, presentations, posters, things like that. And then booth and sponsorship sales, where you can sell sponsorships directly to companies in your industry or solicit companies to become booths on your real or virtual floor plan. The green items are data management, and so that's managing your speaker and poster content with our Education Harvester, and then exhibitor and sponsor management with the Expo Harvester. And finally, the blue items are attendee-facing products like the website, which allows attendees to learn about the event, learn about the content, if they were going to travel to it, plan for it, but also consume the content right on the website. The EventScribe app is a fantastic product, which we'll touch on a lot during this webinar, that allows them to access content through their mobile device. Evaluations through our Survey Magnet product allow the attendees to be able to take evaluations for presentations or posters. It's a fantastic way to collect feedback after the event, or in this case, after the experience that the attendees will have. We have an online interactive floor plan, an interactive e-poster gallery, and the ability to share slides and audio for our proceedings online during or after an event. So I'm sure many of you are considering how you can go virtual with your event either canceled or maybe on the verge of being canceled. So some of the things that are probably going through your mind are, how do you retain the revenue that you would otherwise have gotten with a live event? You have an obligation, I'm sure, to educate your members of your profession, and you're trying to find ways to do that outside of your annual meeting. And of course, you want to leverage the work that you've done in the past year, getting ready for your event this spring. I'm sure many of you are heartbroken by the countless hours you've put in only to find out that attendees won't be able to experience what you've planned. So we're going to talk about some options that allow you to leverage the content you would have had live for an online experience for your members or your attendees. And we're going to start with a new product that we call EventScribe Live. This is for live streaming your content directly to the EventScribe platform. Now, there's multiple ways you can get audio content to your attendees. You can choose to live stream it like EventScribe Live, or you can choose to pre-record it. And we're going to talk about both of those options during this webinar. So in this case, EventScribe Live is all about live streaming content online, and we're actually doing that right now. We're live streaming this particular webinar on eventscribe.com/live. And you can actually go there right now if you want to see what it looks like. The idea is that if you had a live event, we would have a capture box in one of the presentation rooms, maybe your keynote or a breakout session, which would stream the slides, the audio, and possibly even the video of the speaker directly live to your itinerary planner and your mobile app. We had thought 2-3 weeks ago that this was our go-to for helping everyone through the crisis, until it turned out that live meetings were going away for the spring. Obviously, you're not going to be having a capture box in a conference center anytime soon. But when the time comes for your events to start back up again in the summer or the fall, we will have the ability to live stream directly from your event and have it perfectly integrated into the EventScribe platform. We also have other options to do live streaming from other sources like Zoom or GoToMeeting, and that's something that you can talk about if you're interested with your sales rep later on in the month. But the important thing to know is that we can live stream, and I'm sure for many of you who are existing clients, you may not even realize that. And the screen here shows what it looks like on the left on a website, and on the right, what it looks like when you're live streaming and viewing it on a phone. So that's an option that you can certainly consider. And there's nothing wrong with doing a hybrid live event or virtual event, rather, where you have some elements that are timed and are live streamed to make it more of an event, but have other content where it's pre-recorded. And that's the second part that we're going to talk about. So what I mean by pre-recorded is that at some point before the user experiences the audio, it was recorded in the past by either a speaker or poster presenter. Now, we're going to touch on speakers first with their presentations. For those of you that don't know, Cadmium has been in the audio recording game at events for 15 years. Typical outfit where we would go to an event, we would record in 5 to 20 rooms. We would take the audio, we would post it online after the event. As the years progressed, the time frame to get that audio online became shorter and shorter. And there came a point about 3 or 4 years ago where we changed our strategy for how we put audio online. We had been taking what I would consider the high road and taking the audio stream and intimately splicing it into segments, one per slide, and making them available for each slide to make a really nice experience for attendees after, or members after the conference, to look at the slides and click on any slide and get the audio right on that slide. However, that was difficult to execute on scale, especially as CadmiumCD got bigger, and we evolved to doing simple videos of each presentation. Well, in light of the catastrophe facing us all this spring, we've chosen a new avenue for how to deliver audio recordings, but still maintaining a high quality where the audio is synchronized with each slide. And that is to use the conference harvester to allow the presenters to submit their audio directly and asynchronously over time. So what does that mean for you? That means that a speaker can upload their slides directly into the harvester. As you know, we now auto-publish slides, and so those slides are automatically published to the cloud and available in EventScribe. And once they have submitted their slides, they can go now into a new task called Presentation Audio, and they can actually record the audio for their slides. So in this particular case, we're logged in as someone who's already recorded their audio. They have 26 slides, and you can see the green progress bar towards the bottom, which indicates what fraction of the slides they have recorded. Of course, if they hadn't recorded everything, they would see, whatever percentage it was. Slides that have a green outline indicate ones that the audio has been received for, and if they have a charcoal outline, the audio is not received yet. Now, in order for them to get started, all they have to do is click on a slide, and they get to a screen that looks like this, where they see a recorder, and they have the ability to see the slide itself. So in this case, we're on slide 14. I've just recorded the audio. If I wanted to re-record it, all I would have to do is hit delete. A message would come up asking if I really do want to delete the audio, and then I could re-record it. And so a speaker can go through each slide, record the audio very, very quickly. They just hit record, then they hit a green save button, and they move to the next slide, and they move to the next slide until they get to the end. And when they make their final slides recording and hit the green save button, it will automatically take all of the audio that they've done, transfer it to the cloud, and make it live in EventScribe right away. Now, if you have speakers who have more than one presentation, they'll see a screen like this that shows them which presentations they have submitted the audio for and which ones they have not. Once they've submitted the audio for all of the presentations, they'll be able to complete the task. Now, the thing that I want to stress here is that when they complete the audio for a presentation, that audio is available immediately with no manual intervention from you or from CadmiumCD. It really honestly is amazing. You can record the audio, go into the mobile app, and see it immediately. It's really quite staggering. And we introduced synchronized audio in the mobile app about 4 years ago. It was extremely popular at the few conferences that we tried it for. Again, the problem we had was that we couldn't figure out how to synchronize slide audio efficiently at scale as we got bigger and bigger, and so we discarded it. But now that we can have the speakers contribute the audio directly through the harvester on their own time and have it synchronized with the slides, that means that when you're in the app or the website, you can go to a slide deck and you can listen to the audio immediately. It's really an engaging experience, and it's honestly hard to explain how engaging it is versus just a simple video until you've used it. But when you're in the EventScribe website, you can see the screenshot here where we've got two presenters, Michelle and myself, and you can see in the middle of the screen, we've got the Slides plus Audio button. Now, when you click the Slides plus Audio button, it will go to an online player that's mobile responsive, so it'll work on tablets, phones, computers, and it will show the slides, and it will play the audio automatically. And when the audio for one slide ends, it will automatically transition to the next slide. The slides transition really smoothly. There's a nice subtle fade in between the slides. There's a slide picker down the right-hand side, so an attendee can quickly find a slide they want and skip to the audio on that slide. If they want to re-listen to something, it's as simple as going back to the slide they want to re-listen to. It also makes it where it's very hard for an attendee who wants to pirate the audio feed because it's all split up into separate files. So it's really difficult to just record it or, do something with your content that you don't want them to do. And it really is engaging when they can move around the presentation to any slide and listen to the audio. And of course, what we do on EventScribe, we've got note taking, so you can take notes while you're listening to it right inside this experience on the website. And then here is what it looks like on a mobile app. On a mobile browser. So if someone maybe didn't have an app, or maybe they had a tablet, you can see it definitely fits on a screen and can scale and work appropriately. And now we're going to switch over to how it works on the app. So in this case, I've gone into a presentation and I've gone to the slide picker, and I can click on any slide and the audio will play immediately for that slide. And the slide, of course, will show. It's really a great experience. And it's also nice because the user can use it offline if they want. They get the option when they start the app to choose whether they want to store the audio on their device. And if they do, then they can use it for offline use. Now, You may not all be familiar with how we do slides and note-taking on the EventScribe app. So here's 3 simple screens that give you a sense of what a presentation looks like. On the left, we've got the preview of the slides, the abstract, the speakers. You can see towards the top in blue, we now have a blue audio icon with a has audio language next to it. That indicates to a user that it has audio. And you'll see those throughout the browsing experience in the EventScribe app. So it's really easy to tell what content has audio. Now, when you click on the View Slides button, it's going to come up with a pop-up because there's multiple speakers. And you can go to any speaker's slides simply by clicking on the View Slides button next to the name. When you click View Slides, it goes to their slides right away. And the app will smartly download content, anticipating what the user needs, so that when they click View Slides, chances are the slides are already ready for them, and it goes right into the slides. And if the audio has been uploaded by the speaker, the audio plays immediately. The app is good, and it'll pre-cache all the audio it needs, so there shouldn't be any kind of delay as long as the user has a reasonable internet connection. You can see on the third iPhone shot towards the bottom right, there's a pause button, and that's because the audio is playing. There's a caret to the right of that where you can click to move to the next slide, and then you can move back and forth between the slides. The audio will play for each slide. As the audio ends for one slide, it moves automatically to the next slide. And a user can pause the audio at any time by clicking that pause button. And then when they want to listen again, they can hit the play button that replaces that pause button. When the user is listening to the audio, they can still take notes on the slide. They can still draw on the slide. It's really an engaging experience. So they can be listening, they can go to draw mode, they can zoom in, they can draw on the slide, they can go to notes mode, they can type in some notes. It really is quite amazing. And the audio doesn't stop or jerk around or jar. It just keeps up the whole time as one smooth audio feed. And then here you can see I've zoomed in on a slide on the left-hand side. I'd use the drawing tool to draw on the slide while listening to the audio. And then on the iPhone on the right-hand side, you can see how we have the note-taking feature where I've clicked on the Notes tab, which is the third one over on the middle of the iPhone, and I've taken notes right on the slides. And all the time the audio was playing, it didn't miss a beat as I changed modes from draw to notes. So, in summary, your speakers can submit the audio directly through the harvester. They can submit it. It will go live. It goes live immediately in the website and in the app. This task to collect the audio is new. It is a pro-level education harvester task, but for events that are happening between March and the end of May of this year, we're offering this task to Express Standard and pro-level harvester clients to help you through the tough times and collect audio directly from your speakers and post it live on EventScribe. We'll assess whether we extend it for events beyond May as we work through the spring, based on the guidance that we get from the CDC for how the events landscape is shaping up for live events. So we've talked about presentation audio. Now we're going to talk about the same thing for posters. Now this is something that's very near and dear to my heart. Years ago, when I worked in a different profession, I gave posters at conferences, and it always frustrated me that my poster would be up for a day or two and then would be forgotten about. Well, one of the things that I think is a great way to extend the life of a poster is for the poster presenter to contribute audio that accompanies the poster. So you can do an audio recording of your poster through the harvester in the same way that you can do it for a presentation. Here's what the task looks like. In this case, we have a poster called Hidden Gems of the Conference Harvester. We've previously uploaded the poster, and so a preview of the poster automatically appears. So when your poster presenter submits the poster in the harvester, they'll submit a PDF file. That PDF file is automatically generated into a series of high-quality images. And when they go to the audio recording task, the image of the poster is automatically available to them right on the browser. In fact, they can roll their mouse over that image and see a zoomed in version of it. So as they're recording, they don't just have to read it on the screen at scale. They can zoom their mouse over it and actually zoom in on parts of the poster that they're talking about. So it's a really easy experience to narrate their poster. Now, when they click the blue Start Recording button, they'll then see a timer which will count down based on how you set up the task. Now, in this case, we've set the maximum recording time for the poster to be 3 minutes. You can set a poster audio recording anywhere from 1 minute up to 1 hour. I personally find that an audio recording for a poster usually is best to be between 3 minutes and 20 minutes, depending on the type of content. While you're recording, you'll see the timer count down to 0, so you know how much time you have left. And once you hit the blue stop recording button, then you have the opportunity to hit a green button to save it. Now, as soon as you press the save button, it will automatically publish it to EventScribe and be available in the app and in the website. And when I say automatically, I mean it's available right away. As soon as the task completes, you could go into the mobile app, click on the poster, and the audio will be there immediately. And that includes if you update and change the audio because you changed your mind about how it sounded. So with the mobile app, on the left, we've got a screenshot of a list of posters from CADCon last year. And the posters that have audio with them have a blue audio icon right under the favorite star. And when you click into a poster, you can see the poster full screen on the app. In this case, I've tilted it landscape and zoomed in so you can see some of the detail on the poster. And if you draw your eye to the left of the purple bar on the horizontal iPhone, you'll see there's a pause button. And that's because the audio is playing while you're looking at the poster. So as soon as the poster loads on your screen, you can zoom in, pan around, you can hear the audio. If you want to pause the audio, it's as simple as pressing the pause button. And you can start it up again because the pause button will convert to a play button once you press it. If you want to replay the audio when you're done, you simply have to leave the poster and go back into it, and then it will autoplay. Now you can do note-taking on posters too. So while you're listening to the audio, you can go to note-taking mode and see the poster on the left, the right, and your note-taking on the left. You can go and zoom in on the poster as much as you like. The middle iPhone here shows I've zoomed in on the poster. And the posters are offered in super high resolution. We've offered 4K resolution posters since before 4K was a thing. So the posters are going to be really high quality, frankly, higher quality than a paper poster. And the image on the right shows you what the poster profile looks like, or poster abstract. And you can see it's got the blue has audio indication right on there as well, so an attendee knows that it has audio accompanying it. On the website, you can, of course, list your posters. In this case, I've got the CADCon site here. You can see the Browse Posters navigation element is selected, and then Browse by Poster Title. And then once you go into a list of the poster titles, you can click on any poster you like. And here's Jen's poster. I've clicked on it. I've got a pop-up that explains the poster. I can see a little preview of the poster, and we've got a brand new View ePoster button. Now, we used to do it where when you click on View ePoster, it would really just link to the poster gallery and show you the poster in our ePoster gallery. But because we're anticipating a lot of our clients are going to want to be able to put posters online and really share them in an online experience rather than a live experience, we've spent some time to make our poster viewer much better. So when you click on the View ePoster button now, you're actually going to see a full screen pop-up right on the computer or the phone or the tablet, which will show the poster in a panable, zoomable frame with the audio player embedded directly below it. In this case, I zoomed in with my mouse wheel to see the details of the poster. While I was panning around and zooming, the audio kept on playing. A user can close this out simply by hitting the escape key on the keyboard or hitting the close button in the bottom right of the pop-up. This is a great way to experience the poster. It's really an organic experience. It loads, it's full screen. You zoom in, you move the mouse around to kind of navigate around the poster. It's a very nice viewing experience. And with the audio, it really transforms it into a much more engaging experience for the user. So we've talked about the two new Harvester tasks. They're both available to Express Standard and Pro users of the Harvester. All you need to have is a Harvester and either the EventScribe website and or the EventScribe app for you to start using that. And we'll talk towards the end of the webinar about how you engage with using these features after today. So the next thing we're going to talk about is retooling your current CadmiumCD products for virtual events. So we've tried to pull together some of the features that you may know about, but may not have realized might be good to use for a virtual event. And you're actually going to see over the course of the next few months, as we do our users group webinars, we're going to pivot to share more of this kind of content. So you can really see the features that you can continue to use, maybe in ways different to how you've used them before, as well as enhancements that we're making, so we can really get what you need for your users and attendees in a virtual experience. So first, we're going to talk about the audience response system that's available through the mobile app. Now, if you're doing a live online event, our polling feature certainly could be used, but at a minimum, you might like to use the Q&A feature of the audience response system. It allows the users to pose questions to the speakers in a presentation. When a question goes into the list, other people who are viewing the presentation have an opportunity to vote the questions up. So in this screenshot here of an iPad, the user is spending their points in order to vote a question up in the list. And of course, the questions with the highest number of points are going to show at the top. Moderators and speakers have an opportunity to answer these questions directly in the mobile app. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't all have to happen during a particular time frame. People can pose questions and speakers can go in and answer the questions at their own time. We do anticipate introducing features in the Harvester later this spring that allows speakers to interact with those questions directly in the Harvester. That's not available yet, but for now they do it through tiles that are on their home screen in the mobile app. This is a great way to get interactivity between your users and your speakers. And again, the key takeaway here is you don't have to think about this as a live event experience. These questions and answers live in perpetuity within the EventScribe platform. People can ask the questions and receive answers outside of a live experience. Next up is the activity feed in the app. Now, the activity feed is meant for attendees to share photos and comments while they're at a live event, but it's also useful to be able to share interaction between the attendees. One of the things I really like about this is you can see in the screenshot here, we took a picture of a CadmiumCD mug, right? But right at the top of that mug, you can see a banner that was placed there. Now that's a sponsorship banner. You can have a sponsor banner automatically added to each of the pictures that people contribute through the activity feed. It's a great virtual sponsor opportunity that you can have a sponsor have their banner on all the pictures that appear on the activity feed. You'll also notice that at the top of the feed, it says the word activity. It doesn't show the days of your event. It just has one bucket for everything that shows whatever was submitted in reverse chronological order. So activity feed is something that you can use outside of just the days of your event. And it can be a great place for the community of users who are using the EventScribe app to share things back and forth together in a group platform. They're automatically identified when they enter the activity feed. They don't have to log in as anything. The app takes care of all of that. And on the administrative side, if you need to moderate it, you do have moderation tools that allow you to remove content that you don't want to have seen to everyone else. Now, we've alluded to this in the earlier slides in the presentation, but I can't underscore enough how convenient it is to have automated content publishing for the mobile app. So when your presenters submit a poster or your speakers submit a presentation, it's automatically made live for you in the app and in the website. You don't have to be in the middle. So content can be gradually introduced over time, and users can asynchronously view that content as it comes in. You can, if you want to put controls in place, have an accept reject tool that is used for you to stop it from being published until you accept the content. But in an online event where you're looking to have, the scenario we're really talking about here is your event in early April is canceled. You want to share content online. You can have the speakers upload their PowerPoints, and those PowerPoints can be automatically published for the app and the website and made available to your members and attendees. And obviously, you monetize that content however you want to, whether it's an included service based on their membership, or you choose to have access control based on a certain level of membership or some money that they've spent. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Next is a virtual scavenger hunt in the mobile app. So many of you have used a scavenger hunt at your event, but you don't have to be at an event to use a scavenger hunt. And it's certainly a viable sponsorship opportunity for a virtual event. So you can see that the iPhone picture here shows a Becton Dickinson logo. They've sponsored this particular question. It's a great way to collect sponsorship dollars for a virtual thing. The users would go in, they would do the scavenger hunt, which usually requires answering something relevant to the sponsor, maybe about the pharmaceutical drug or about something about the part of the industry that they touch on. As questions are answered, users accumulate points, and there's a leaderboard that the user can get to see who's in the lead. And then you can provide appropriate prizes based on who achieves the most points first. Again, great sponsorship opportunity. And I'm sure many of you are looking for those sponsorship opportunities now that you can't necessarily have your live event. The survey magnet is for doing session and poster evaluations. We now support poster evaluations both directly from the mobile app as well as from the website. If there's two things you've come away with the survey magnet, it's a seamless user experience where they go from the Apple website directly into it without another login, without having to identify themselves. It's directly integrated as well with the Education Harvester, which means that the data that you have managed in the Harvester, like the pictures of your people, your speakers, all show up right here automatically without you having to manage it. And the part I like the most about the Survey Magnet is the automatic generation of participation or CE certificates directly in the magnet. We help you design the certificate. The user can access the certificate based on the evaluations that they do, whether it's for credit or just for participation. It's automated. So for those of you that spend a lot of time compiling certificates based on data from whatever evaluation system you use, this bundles it all together. So you can manage evaluations in one place, and users can get automated certificates generated based on their engagement with the Survey Magnet. For Expo Harvester, we have something called a product showcase. This was something we introduced about a year and a half ago, and it's a good opportunity for getting sponsorship dollars for an online event. You can have companies share their new products with assets like videos, images, and PDFs. You can charge them sponsorship dollars for it, and of course, they get their name out there with the products right on the website or the mobile app. And for exhibitors and sponsors in general, we do a great job of sharing profiles of exhibitors. Frankly, I think we do it better than anyone else does. You can see with these screenshots directly from the mobile app and the website, beautiful logos. We have clear information that's available to the user. You can see in the case of the mobile app, we've got 3 badges at the top designating that this particular company is a sponsor, a partner, and that they do registration. We've got their social media badges at the top, a blue link to their brochure. Right at the bottom of their profile is a purple bubble, which is the category that they're in. Of course, you can be in multiple categories. So it's a very rich profile. And all of that information is directly managed in the Expo Harvester. So you can collect the information. Some of the information is based on the level of Expo Harvester you have, but we do a great job of making it shareable both on the EventScribe website and in the mobile app. One thing you may not realize is attendees or users who are using the mobile app and looking at a profile can take notes on the exhibitor. They can record those notes as text notes or even audio notes that are available in their personal summary of their app experience. Now, access control in EventScribe website and EventScribe app is something that we do really well. You can control access to content like sections of the Apple website, like the attendee list or an exhibitor list. You can control access to individual presentations and even to the content within those presentations. Now, access is usually controlled based on the access level of the user, which we have 3 basic levels: basic, standard, and premium. And then we can refine it and actually control it on a per presentation basis with something we call unlock codes. And presentations can have unlock codes, and users can have matching unlock codes that grant them access to those presentations. That is a very nice system to give finite control over who can access audio, who can access slides, and controlling it on a per presentation basis if needed. You can even change in the app what tiles a user can access from the main screen, and sometimes even what tiles they can see. Now, the iPhone shots that we have here on the left, you can see a yellow message. This is for a user that has limited access to the slides, and the yellow message is put there to let them know that only full access users can access the slides. And so when this user accesses the slide, they can only get to slide 1. So on the right-hand side, you can see it shows the title slide. It superimposes a brief toast message in purple because that's the colors this event uses, that says you don't have access to view slides. And you can see at the very top middle, it says 1 of 1. So they can access the first slide and they can choose to draw and take notes on it if they want, but they can't get past that first slide. Now, purchase options is something that you may be really wanting to consider moving forward. So in the EventScribe website, we can offer ways for users to purchase access. So a pretty standard way to do this is you might have free access for what we would call basic or standard users. But if they want to get access to content like slides and audio, they would have to upgrade their account to become a premium account. In this case, it's $179 to access to the audio and the slides. And when the user does that, they can purchase it, and then their account is automatically upgraded to access that particular content. So we're coming to the end of this webinar, and the question really is, what do you do next? For us, this is really just the start. So we've got some materials available for you to get going. You can see on the left-hand side of this particular slide, we've got cadmiumcd.com/resources/COVID-19. This will take you to a web page that gives you a number of resources we've put together to help you start to navigate through planning out putting your content online instead of doing a live event. We will be adding to this page over time, but I think if you go there now, you're going to find there's already useful information that you can start using today. And then in the Education Harvester, we have a new mission called the Virtual Event Mission, which will be going live this coming Monday. And it's a mission designed to enable you to configure how you want to use the Cadmium products as you move your event from a live event to a virtual event. This is a way to capture what choices you want to make, help you set things up, and help your project manager work directly with you to facilitate getting everything the way you need it this spring. One thing I do want to underscore is that the two new tasks, the presentation audio task and the poster audio task, are tasks that you can use right away. They're in the Express Standard and Pro levels of the Education Harvester, and you can connect with your project manager to learn more about them, start to configure them, and prepare to launch them for your speakers and poster presenters. I'm sure a lot of you are going to have questions about really like how do you do that? And so we're actually offering daily webinars on getting started with that. Starting tomorrow, they will be initially this Wednesday, this Thursday, and on Friday at 1:30 p.m. And the webinars will be designed to give you the information you need to work through configuring these new tasks and setting things up so that you can set up EventScribe to show that information directly to the users, whoever they may be. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 1:30 p.m. this week. We'll extend it past Friday if needed. You'll see advertising for those webinars starting later today when you log into My Cadmium. Now, if you're a client who's already looking for more training, cadmiumcd.com/webinars is where you're going to go. You'll be able to book these webinars that are happening later this week, as well as see information on other upcoming training opportunities that we're putting together. Obviously, there's a lot changing at the moment, and we will be putting more and more content out to help you navigate these difficult times. If you're not a client and you're interested in learning more about how we can help you, just go to cadmiumcd.com/contact, and you'll be able to put your information in, and then one of our sales representatives will be able to reach out to you and help you understand how we may be able to help you one way or another. So lastly, we've come to the question and answer stage, and I think that we're going to have a lot today. So I'm going to work through the questions one by one, and feel free to continue to put questions into the question area of the webinar, and we'll do our best to answer as many as possible. First question is, if you don't currently use CadmiumCD's mobile app, Is there another venue to view the recorded slides and audio? So your two options for doing that are the app, but also the EventScribe website. So the EventScribe website is typically used by our clients in the context of being an itinerary planner before the event and a proceedings after the event. So attendees can plan before they go and then consume content in the website during and after the event. So if you have a website, you can see exactly the same audio options in the website as well. Now, if you have a harvester with us, but you don't have a website or an app, you would have to purchase access to those. But if you have one or the other or both, the audio you collect in the harvester will automatically be included this spring at no extra charge. Next question is, does the speaker see any form of a timer to keep them on track with the total amount of time they've been given? That's a great question, because we certainly don't want speakers to not pace themselves properly, especially when they're recording audio for a poster where it's just one audio segment. And so when they click the green record button, they will automatically see a timer that counts down how much time they have. You can control how much time it is right in the task settings. So you can control exactly how many minutes they have per slide or how many minutes for a poster. They'll see it count down, and if they choose to let it run all the way down, then it will truncate the recording right there, and they can listen to it and decide if it's good enough, or simply press the re-record button and re-record their content. Next question is, does note-taking work in a browser as well, or only in the app? You can also take notes in the browser. You just click on the note-taking button and a little pop-up window will appear. You can type in it and it will automatically save your notes. And the great thing is the notes you take in the app or the website are available in both platforms. So if you were to take notes in the app and then view it through the website, your notes are available there as well. Is it possible to have a start recording and allow them to advance the slides as they speak and have Cadmium auto-slice it based on when they hit next? It'll be difficult to have to stop a thought right at the end of a slide and move on to another. So the new task is built in such a way that the user is in control of this. We don't want to be splicing the content for the user. The user is essentially driving that themselves. So they'll get to a slide, they'll hit record, they'll say what they have to say and hit stop, and then they can compose themselves, click the save button. When they hit the save button, it will automatically take them to the next slide. But it doesn't start recording immediately. It only starts when they hit the blue record button. So they don't have to be, record, save, and then immediately start speaking for the next slide. It will show them the next slide, and when they're ready to talk about that slide, they just hit the blue record button there. We were concerned when we designed this that maybe it would be a odd experience for the speaker as they're doing it. It's actually really natural and easy. You hit record, you say your thing. If you don't like what you said, you just re-record it. It's only one slide. It doesn't take very long. And you just march through the slides until the end. It really is quite nice. Arguably better than doing a single live recording, or even if it's a pre-recorded recording, because you can change any slide as a speaker whenever you want. Maybe you record some slides and then you go 5 slides back and re-record that slide 5 slides ago because you realize you want to say it differently. You can't do that in a live recording or a single recording session. The next question is, can I use the presentation audio task to collect session recordings if I'm not currently using EventScribe? The answer is yes, technically, but there wouldn't be any point because the only place the content will show is in EventScribe. We don't give you the ability to download the audio that you've collected that way and put it somewhere else. It's only available in the cloud used by EventScribe. But to be clear, it's the website, the app, and I didn't really mention this in the presentation, but the e-poster gallery also has the audio directly embedded with the poster. So if you're in the e-poster gallery and you go to a poster, it plays in much the same way that it plays when you're looking at it in the itinerary planner or the website and in the mobile app. Next question is, can video be uploaded as part of a poster? And the answer to that is yes. The way we do that is there is a charge for that on a per video basis, but you can have a task that collects URLs for videos. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's not an extra charge. You can have a task that collects URLs for videos, and a speaker or presenter simply has to fill in the video URL, which would usually be a YouTube or Vimeo link. When they fill that in and submit it, it automatically makes it available for the poster in the gallery and in the app as a video button. And so you can do up to one video per poster. They submit the link and then it's live as a video link. And when the user clicks it, the video plays. Now, it doesn't play embedded in the poster. It doesn't play superimposed on top of the poster. It simply plays in a new window that shows full screen for the user. Next question is, how do you do a recording if a presentation has multiple speakers? So each speaker is associated to a presentation, and each speaker can upload their own PowerPoint and record their own audio for their slides. So there's really two scenarios where you would do this. Maybe you've got a session with with one presentation that technically has three speakers. You could design it in the tasks where one speaker is responsible for uploading the slides and doing the audio recording. You could design it where all speakers upload separate slides and are responsible for their separate audio recordings. And you could even do it where one person is responsible for the slides, but any of the people can go in and do the audio. So imagine you've got three people sharing the same slide deck. Person A uploads the slides. Then they record the audio for their part of it. Then person B goes in and does their slides. And then person C goes in and finishes the audio recording, which then makes it live for the users. Next question is, the term poster is new to me. What exactly is it, and how is it different from a presentation? So a poster is, think of it as a 4 foot by 3 foot printed poster, literally, that may display scientific research. It may display something about medicine or engineering. There's a lot of conferences that may share between 100 and 2,000 posters where people come to the conference with the roll, they unroll it, they put it up on a board somewhere in the exhibit hall, and it stays there for 1 to 3 days. People go around the exhibit hall looking at the posters, and many conferences will have the poster presenter stand next to the poster, answering questions at predetermined points during the conference. And so that's what a poster is. And what we're really trying to do here with EventScribe is get it where the poster can live online. It can be available through the app, the planner, or the ePoster gallery. And the poster presenter has the opportunity to record the audio and associate it with the poster. Next question is, if I submit presentations this way and record the audio, do the animations work in the slides? The answer to that is no. Technically, when a presentation is uploaded to EventScribe, we convert the slides into a sequence of images. It's like a flipbook. And so when a user takes notes on a slide or they draw on the slide, they're really looking at an image of the slide, drawing on it. And so we can't capture the animations. So it's a compromise between usability with note-taking and drawing and showing the content. Next question is, can this feature track virtual attendee attendance per presentation viewed purposes? And so the answer is yes. We do track which attendees or users will view a presentation. If necessary, you can export that data in a spreadsheet. Next question is, can we record speakers on a webcam and display their webcam side by side next to their slides and audio with the pre-recorded sessions? You can definitely collect links in the Education Harvester, like a video of your speakers, and you can have it, in a format like Vimeo or YouTube, and you can take videos and put them associated with your presentations. So, for instance, we were working with a client a few weeks ago before everything got canceled, who was anticipating a lot of their speakers from China who weren't going to be able to make it. And so about 100 of their presentations actually had videos that accompanied the presentation slides. And so a user could go to a presentation in the app or the itinerary planner, and they could either view the slides or view the video. And if they viewed the video, it was the video that the speaker provided of themselves speaking about their presentation. In many cases, it was a webcam of the speaker chatting. I would argue not the most engaging of experiences, but they made it available for the speakers who weren't able to make it to the event. And that video is in addition to the slides that are presented. And sometimes it's honestly more common to have the video be supplemental material, maybe a video of a medical procedure or a video that illustrates whatever the speaker is speaking about. And we can have up to one video per presentation. You just have to associate that link to the presentation. Can this feature track virtual attendance per presentation viewed? and provide continuing education units. So at this time, we don't track the number of seconds that a user engages with a presentation to be able to track whether they've achieved continuing education or not. I will tell you that we do have the capability in the MyCadmium trading platform to give you credit for watching our training videos only if you play them all the way through. And we may in the future take that sort of technology and leverage it into EventScribe, but we don't currently have that capability at this time. The next question is, what microphone equipment do speakers need for a quality audio recording? So your speakers can use the built-in microphone with their laptops. Now, of course, it depends on the laptop. We have tested with a variety of laptops over the past week leading up to this webinar. We were actually really pleasantly surprised how well it worked. We just hit the record button. The browser asks you if you can have access to the microphone, and then it starts recording. The quality was surprisingly good, but I'm sure it's based on the quality of the laptop, and there'll undoubtedly be some speakers who are challenged in that area. Or maybe some people are on desktops and they don't actually have a microphone. We are actually working on a solution for that, which we'll probably be introducing at our users group meeting at the end of the month, where we're going to enable the speakers and the poster presenters to record their audio as an alternative directly in the mobile app itself. And that's where the speaker will go into the app. The app knows who they are. It knows where they're speaking. They'll go into their presentation and they'll be able to record their audio for each slide directly in the app itself and submit it that way. That's a little more complicated than doing it in the Harvester, but for the users who do have problems using their computing equipment, especially for someone on a desktop who actually doesn't have a microphone and doesn't know what to do about it, the in-app recording feature that we're looking to introduce at the end of the month will be a great alternative, and you'll see information about that in the users group in a couple of weeks. The next question is for the product showcase add-on. Can we prevent the audio from being auto-published if we'd like to have some quality checks in place before it goes live? And the answer to that is yes, you can control the assets. So the companies that go in can submit assets, but you can control whether those assets for a product showcase item actually go live for EventScribe. Next question is, can you stop and start and re-record each slide, or is it a simultaneous recording? And yes, I think I mentioned this for another question, but when you record a slide and stop it, and you go to the next slide, it doesn't start recording until you click the record button again. So you don't have to be, going a million miles an hour through your slides. You can take, a coffee break halfway through if you like. It's no big deal. Next question is, you mentioned that the speaker can record audio per slide and not all at once, but that the audio they recorded will become available immediately. Can they indicate when they've completed all of the audio and are ready for it to be made available for attendees? So the audio will automatically be published once they've finished the recording when they click the complete task button, and you have full control over the instructional text that appears on the task. So if you feel that the instructional text that we provide by default isn't enough, you are more than happy to go in and adjust it. And no doubt, as we get experience with more and more clients using this, we'll put in extra things to provide the right level of control for the speakers. So for instance, it wouldn't surprise me if we made some extra language that appears when you're on the last slide to explain the implications of being on the last slide. Next question is there more customization for the website planned? Our current website is fine for our in-person, but for virtual, we'd like to group sessions together in modules. So the easy answer for that is to speak with your project manager about how we can make adjustments to frame your content differently for an online experience. And I would say that if you've purchased a website from us and you've been unable to have a live event, honestly, we're more than happy to work with you to make adjustments to the website, to retool it within reason at no extra cost to make it appropriate for online. We're learning a lot about our products at the moment and how they can be used for a virtual experience when they didn't have to be before. So everyone in our ops team is keyed in on sharing with each other best practices, learning from the clients who are looking to change up how they use the website, and they're intimately plugged into our engineering team to push the appropriate changes forward. So a great example of that is A week ago, we had a client who really wanted their poster presenters to be able to share their email and their website and their LinkedIn profile with the attendees through the app in much the same way they can do it if they were speakers on a presentation. Well, we didn't support it in the app, but we will later this month. And so we're listening. Believe me, when there's things you need for virtual events, we're pivoting our engineering resources. The ops team is helping to combine all the ideas that come internally or externally from clients into the right set of changes to our products, and we're prioritizing them based on what clients need in this difficult situation. I think you can tell from this presentation, we've changed a lot in a short period of time just to be able to get audio available to attendees and users. And at the users group in a few weeks, you'll see more things that have been adjusted in our products to enable you to use our products for a virtual meeting better. Next question is, for the speaker to see their presentation, will it need to be loaded into a final PowerPoint slot? Only staff can do that, not faculty, so we can ensure that it's approved. So the context for a question like that is that, especially for medical conferences where you might be concerned about conflict of interest and disclosures from the speaker, you may be in a position where you have to approve the PowerPoint prior to the audio being recorded. So there's honestly a ton of ways to do it. Most of our clients will have a formal approval process where the slides will be formally approved. They click a big green approval button. It automatically publishes them. I don't have an answer for like some kind of automated reminder to your speaker that now it's available for audio recordings. In the short term, you can manage who can do their recordings based on a filter on your task to control which speakers or which presentations can do the recordings. And I think as the weeks progress and we work through some of the operational challenges with clients that do have approval processes, we'll figure out elegant ways to engage the speakers when the slides are ready for them to contribute their audio. So the next question is, with the pre-recorded sessions, how can we integrate Q&A since everyone will be watching at different times? So it's a great question, and that's really where our audience response system, Q&A system, plays really well. So you can have the Q&A live, and it doesn't matter when someone asks a question. The speaker can answer it during the live time, if there is even a live time, and afterwards. I think one of the things we're going to be doing that we haven't done yet is to create a new harvester task that allows speakers to see the questions that have come in and get an opportunity to answer them, and get reminders when new questions have been added so they can engage with them. So look out for some updates on that, either in the March webinar or the April webinar. The next question is, do you provide an option for captions or subtitles for the slides and audio in EventScribe for the deaf or hard of hearing attendees? The answer to that is no, we do not. There are transcription services that are available that we haven't chosen to tap yet. I can tell you that in general, those are a cost that is on a per minute basis. And while we haven't tapped into that yet, it's not the hardest thing in the world to do in this day and age. You just would need to be prepared to pay for it. So transcription services, you pay by the minute. If we were to choose to do it, we would set it up in the harvester where the audio is submitted to the transcription service, and it's transcribed, it's put into a database and made available on the EventScribe website for each slide. If we were to do that, you would then pay directly for whatever that transcription cost is. So it's not something that we currently offer. It's something we could do. And the more feedback we get on things like this, obviously will help inform whether we want to pursue adding those kinds of capabilities in. Next question is, can we offer the mobile app to attendees after presentations are uploaded and audio is recorded? And you absolutely can. You can collect all the content, presentations, and audio before you choose to share the mobile app. You can also design your website so the website's up, but the audio doesn't go live until you're ready for it to go live. So let's just take a hypothetical situation. Your event is canceled. It was going to be next week. You've got all the PowerPoints already. You want to share them on the website. You can do that now, but you could start collecting the audio this week or next week, but choose not to make the audio available until later. And so if you do that, you just have to choose when you want to make it live, and we'll work with you to show you how you can activate the audio on the website when you're ready. And you probably would want to do it when you've collected the bulk of the audio from your speakers. And the next question is there an option to, oh, I just answered that. Hold on. Next question is, what is the time between the speaker uploading their PowerPoint in the upload task and when they can expect to start recording their audio? So the answer to that is it's quick. How quick it is depends on the size of the presentation. So if you were to upload a 30 slide presentation, chances are that it's going to be ready when you go to the audio task. But if it's not ready, you can certainly put instructions on the task that help the help the speaker understand how long it takes to go live. If you're expecting a lot of large presentations, 5 to 10 minutes might be reasonable. And to be honest, the more of these harvesters that we use the audio recording task with, the more refined we'll make the default instructional text to help with edge cases like that. Next question is, what happens if a speaker or poster presenter uploads a new PowerPoint or a new poster after they've recorded their first version? So the answer to that is currently they would need to re-record. So if they uploaded a poster and then they uploaded a new version of the poster, they would re-record. Sorry, I did get that wrong. If they upload a new version of their poster, the audio for the poster will stay intact. Because the audio is associated directly with the poster record itself. And so if they were to upload a new image of the or PDF of the poster, that will go into the cloud. It usually takes an hour or two for the cloud to cycle it and provide the new image of the poster available because it's an updated one. And then the audio hasn't changed, and so the audio stays associated with the new version of the poster. In the case of the slides, it is a little different because the slides have full version control, which means, if you've uploaded it 12 times, you have 12 versions of the slides, and the audio is available with whatever version of the slides you uploaded. Now, I don't have a good answer for how we do it where the audio could move from one version of the slides to the other. It's something we're still working on. Currently, if a user uploads a brand new presentation, they would need to re-record the audio for that brand new presentation. But we do have ideas for how a user could see a visual representation of their new slides, their old slides, and push the audio over between them. But that's not something that we're prepared to share today. Next question is, can the website be integrated into our own website so the user doesn't see the eventscribe.com site? Yes, we can absolutely do that. There's two principal ways to do it. One is called an embedded website, which I usually would highly discourage. That's when you have something like an iframe in your website. It's somewhat old technology. A better way to do it is to have an SSL certificate for your website that allows your website to host content from the EventScribe domain. Your IT folks would need to be involved. It's not too complicated, but basically it involves you getting or us buying a secure certificate to allow our content to be available on your website, and then your IT folks would be able to configure your website to have a domain like live.thisorganization.org, and that would look like the EventScribe website, but it would have your URL, and that's our preferred way of doing it. It's a little harder. Your IT folks need to get involved, but it is the superior experience for the user. Next question is, the question on slide audio was, can you change slides while speaking and not have to break up the speech? And the answer is no. The audio you record is based on the slide you're on. So if you were to hit next slide while you're recording, it will stop the recording, not save it, and move to the next slide. Next question is, do you have to have the app in order to have the option to share the posters and audio? The answer to that is no. You don't have to have the app. Really, for sharing posters and audio, you just need to have the app or the website. The next question is, do sponsors have the option of live video and interaction with the attendees who visit the page? Not at this time, but we're seriously considering doing things like that. Now, there are things you can do, like if you have someone who is sponsoring a question on your scavenger hunt, there is a task in the Expo Harvester that allows that sponsoring company to get access to the people that interacted with their scavenger hunts question. And that's often a great way to reward the sponsor for participating in the scavenger hunt and feeling like they got their value out of it. Over time, I think we're going to do a better job of this, but not at this time for other things. Next question is, does recording of different parts of a presentation negatively affect the flow of the talk, or is it edited, and is there some way to edit in-house to enhance the flow? So the slides in the presentation are in whatever order the user made them. They can record those slides in any order, and they can go back and forth making adjustments to the audio they've recorded. So let's say I had a 40-slide presentation, and I really wanted to work on slides 22 to 35 first, because they're the hardest ones, and I want to knock those out first. I can jump to slide 22. I can start recording the audio. I can work through it. Maybe I get to slide 35 and I decide, you know what, I'm going to go back to slide 25 and do a few more recordings for the slides there because I could do a better job. You can move back and forth, contributing the audio to any of the slides in any order you want. It doesn't have to be in a linear sequential order. You can complete it when every one of the slides has audio in it. Well, it's been an hour. We really appreciate your time and all the well thought out questions. We're going to be posting more content on on the CadmiumCD.com website. And again, the place that you can go to get information is CadmiumCD.com/resources/COVID-19. You can reach out to your project manager if you're already using our products to start the conversation about how you want to retool for a virtual event. And of course, we've got these webinars coming up on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If you're interested in learning more, 1:30 is the time, and you'll be able to get to information about those webinars at cadmiumcd.com/webinars. I really want to thank all of you for joining. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to working with you through this difficult time in the future.